These three independent commissions have been created under the Constitution. So, ang pwede lang mag-dismantle ng tatlong commission na ito ay if the Constitution will be amended or revised. So, hindi siya pwedeng basta-basta na lang alisin dahil yun ay created under the Constitution, which is our highest law. All right. The first one is the CSC. And these three independent commissions nga pala ay mayroon ng kanya-kanyang function, mayroon ng kanya-kanyang jurisdiction. The first one, which is the CSC, or the Civil Service Commission, is known as the human resource of the government. Bakit human resource? Because the CSC is in charge of hiring, appointment, recruitment, and promotions of government employees. So sila yung nagtatalaga ng mga qualification standard and the different positions within the offices of the different agencies and institutions in the government. So, di ba, sila yung nagbibigay ng sub-professional examinations, ng professional examinations, and even the CESO or career executive examinations. The CSC is composed of 3 membership, 1 chairman, and 2 commissioners. The chairman served for 7 years, the first commissioner for 5 years, and the second commissioner for 3 years without reappointment. The CSC commissioners and chairman are appointed by the president, and their appointment is confirmed by the Commission on Appointment. For their qualifications, of course, they must be a natural-born Filipino citizen, at least 35 years of age, before on the day of appointment. For the CSC, a college degree holder and must have a proven competence in public administration. Then, of course, must not have been a candidate in any election preceding the appointment. So those are the qualifications of those commissioners and chairman of the CSC. But despite of all those qualifications stated in our Constitution, of course, as a commissioner and an important commission in our government, there should be other qualifications. And I think they require a much higher qualifications, and also sometimes some political affiliation is also important because they are appointed by the president. So under the CSC, there are 2 types of employees. The first one are the career employees, which are appointed by the CSC based on merit and fitness. When we say merit and fitness, means that they are appointed in a position where their qualifications would fit. So if you are an accountant, of course, you will be appointed, say, for example, as an accounting officer in your institution or in your office. You'll not be appointed as a bookkeeper only because you are an accountant. So, depende sa qualification mo kung saan mag-fit. Siyempre, mag-a-apply ka, of course, but you will be appointed in a position kung saan mag-fit yung iyong qualification. So yan ang pamantayan ng Civil Service Commission na tinatawag na merit and fitness. On the other hand, we have the so-called non-career position. And the non-career position are further classified into three. We have the first one, primarily confidential position. The primarily confidential positions requires that the occupant enjoys some trust and confidence of the appointing power. Ibig sabihin, katiwa-tiwala siya doon sa appointing power, like private secretary. So, yung mga kinukuhang private secretary ng boss, of course, ay yung mga pinagkakatiwalaan nilang tao. Then we have the policy determining position. Policy determining position are those which are required to possess a much higher qualification, especially in drafting or creating policies and programs that could be applied within the respective department or agency. An example are the cabinet secretaries. So the cabinet secretaries who are appointed by the president should possess the skills and knowledge on how to create policies, guidelines, programs that could be implemented within their respective department or agency. Then we have highly technical position. Saglit ah. May sumisigaw dun sa ano. Alright. So highly technical positions are those positions which requires a much higher qualifications because these people serve as the technocrats of the government. Like for example, yung mga ekonomista natin, yung mga political analyst, the engineers, yung mga scientists kung saan sila yung nag-a-advise kung anong gagawin ng president in terms of climate, yung mga ganon. O yung mga doctors na kung saan sila yung nag-a-advise sa president on what kind of policy could be created for health purposes and also for education. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung mga nagsiserve na advisors ng president, the technocrats of the government. Then, of course, aside from that function of the CSC, kung saan sila ang in charge ng recruitment, hiring, appointment, and promotion of government employees, the CSC is also in charge of giving disciplinary actions to the government employees. So, disciplinary actions. And meron ng mga basihan on how a government employees could be suspended or could be removed from their offices because of committing some offense or crimes which is contrary to our laws. Like for example, habitual tardiness could be one cause of suspension muna or even dismissal. Habitual tardiness, habitual drunkenness, neglect of duty, insubordination, misconduct, oppression, and dishonesty. Magkakasama yan misconduct, oppression, dishonesty could be one ground for suspension or dismissal from government service. We have being notoriously undesirable. Ibig sabihin na hindi maganda yung ugali mo at ayaw ka ng mga kasamahan mo. Being notoriously undesirable. Nepotism is another. Neglect of duty and subordination, nepotism, um, being notoriously undesirable, lending money at usurious rates of interest, yung nagpapa 5-6, and practice of profession without the required permission from the Civil Service Commission or from the agency. So if you're a doctor, you cannot just perform your function privately in your private clinic without seeking permission that you will have your practice of that profession if you are a government employee already. Halimbawa, doctor ka ng isang school, tapos may sarili kang clinic, hindi ka pwedeng basta-basta mag-clinic without a permission kasi that will be a conflict of interest. Kasi swelduhan ka na ng gobyerno eh. Bilang a government doctor, sinuswelduhan ka na. So pag nag-practice ka pa ng pagiging doktor mo sa special clinic or private clinic mo, maaring yung mga customer mo sa government ay papuntahin mo sa clinic mo, and that would be tantamount to double compensation. Kasi bayad ka na dun eh, bakit mo pa papupuntahin sa ano? And conflict of interest also. Is there any question about the Civil Service Commission?
No.
All right, if you don't have any question, we go on further to the COMELEC or Commission on Election. So the COMELEC is another special body or constitutional commission which is created to administer rules and proceedings relevant to the conduct of political exercises. So they are in charge of creating and implementing rules and proceedings relevant to the conduct of political exercises. So what are those political exercises? We have election, plebiscite, referendum, initiative, and recall. So election is a political exercise where government officials from the national to the local level is being chosen by the people through the exercise of suffrage. While plebiscite, it is also a political exercise where a law or part of a law is submitted to the people. Maybe the Congress would have to create a certain legislation, and it is to be submitted to the people for their approval. Say, halimbawa, itatanong nila, maaari bang amendahan yung ating constitution? At ang sagot lang ay yes or no. And that is through a plebiscite. Isasangguni sa taong bayan kung payag ba sila na amendahan ang ating constitution. Then we have another one, referendum. Referendum is a political exercise where people may or a law or part of a law may be submitted to the people for their approval or rejection. For example, a certain municipality is to be changed into its cityhood. And before na mangyari na mapakonvert ang isang municipality into a city, they will have to consult the the people within that municipality. Kung naalala niyo one time that Novaliches is a part of Quezon City. Then nagkaroon ng referendum kasi parang gustong humiwalay ng Novaliches sa Quezon City at gusto nila maging independent city from Quezon City. So, kaya lang since, mas madami yung bumoto na ayaw nilang ma-separate ang Novaliches being a part of Quezon City, so hindi nangyari yun. Pero kung mas madami yung boto, um, that, agreed of, separating Novaliches from Quezon City, so nahiwalay na sana yung Novaliches from Quezon City. So gano'n yung referendum. And also referendum is being, used if ever there are some, provisions in the Constitution which needs to be amended or revised. So a part of, some provisions ay, isasangguni sa taong bayan na ito ay, kanilang aaprubahan or i-reject. Then another one is initiative. Initiative as part of political exercise where the people will directly enact or propose a law. So, through people's initiative ay maaari silang mag-introduce ng isang batas na pwedeng applicable within their respective local government units. Then finally, we have recall. Recall is a political exercise where the head of the local government units, yung mayor, yung governor, ay pwedeng tanggalin sa kanilang pwesto even before the expiration of their term. So, Ray Malonzo had been, a mayor in Caloocan City, and he was then recalled as a city mayor by the people. And they only need, what they have to do is, to initiate. So magkakaroon muna ng people's initiative at kailangan ay yung 1/4 or 25% of the voting population would have to agree na magkakaroon ng recall election. Then after that ay iboboto nila kung tatanggalin nila or i-retain yung kanilang mayor. So those are the 5 political exercises kung saan ay pinamamahalaan ang mga proseso ng COMELEC. The COMELEC also ay, sila din ang nagtatakda ng iba pang mga qualifications ng, mga inihahalal na government officials. And that is ay nakapaloob yun sa Omnibus Election Code. Sila din yung nagtatakda ng mga proseso, ng mga procedures, kung anong, klase ng election, kung anong, proseso boboto ang taong bayan or ihahalal ang mga opisyal ng ating gobyerno. The COMELEC also serve as, an appellate court of cases involving municipal and, ano, the COMELEC tried cases or election contests involving provincial and city, public officials. And, they serve as an appellate court on election contests involving municipal and provincial, municipal and barangay, public or elected officials. Kasi yung mga election contests involving municipal and barangay elected officials is under the jurisdiction of, the regional trial court. Ngayon, pag hindi sila, agreed doon sa decision ng RTC, pwede silang umapila sa COMELEC. Then, yung COMELEC naman ang may jurisdiction ng election contest involving, city and provincial elected officials. And pag hindi sila agree doon sa decision, ay pwede na sila sa Court of Appeal and also hanggang makarating ng Supreme Court. O kaya naman ay pwede ring ma-settle ng the judicial or that one that settle election contest in the legislative body. Yung ano nga yun? Special body within the legislature. The other one is CA or the commission appointment, and the other one is, could you still recall that? Medyo nakalimutan ko. Hello, class. What is the special body in legislature which settle election contest involving the national elected officials? Are you still there?
Yes po, ma'am.
Ano yun? What is the answer to my question? Under the legislative department, I have mentioned a special body which settle election contests involving national elected officials.
Ma'am,
Yes?
is it the electoral tribunal po?
Yes, the electoral tribunal. So, ang sinasettle lang ng electoral tribunal ay yung mga national elected officials. While in the COMELEC ay yung provincial and city elected officials. Then, affiliate jurisdiction from the barangay and municipal elected officials. So, these are the function of the COMELEC. And the COMELEC, among the three constitutional commissions, COMELEC ang may pinakamalaking membership. Ilan ang membership ng COMELEC? Kung may binasa man lang kayong advance, dun sa lesson 3, ilan ang composition ng COMELEC? CS class.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ano po, a chairman and 6 commissioners po.
All right, 7 is the composition. 1 chairman and 6 commissioners. The chairman and the first 2 commissioners serve for 7 years. The third and fourth commissioner for 5 years, and the fifth and sixth commissioner for 3 years without reappointment. So again, they are impeachable officials, kagaya ng commissioners and chairman of the CSC. COMELEC also and COA commissioners are impeachable, meaning the power of removal of the president does not apply to them. And they have the same grounds for impeachment. And again, to have an impeachment, to have a possible impeachment proceedings, it is the lower house which prepares the article of impeachment with at least 25% of votes from the lower house. Then the upper house would serve as the jury in an impeachment proceedings along with some justices from the Supreme Court. Is there any question about the COMELEC? Any question? All right, if you don't have any question, we go on further to COA. COA or Commission on Audit. So COA is known as the watchdog of the government because their primary function is to secure the money of the government. So the COA is in charge of inspecting the records or the accounting books of every offices in the government or offices that receive subsidy and funds from the government. So lahat yan ay ino-audit ng COA from the national government down to the local government units. So lahat na ang nagre-receive ng pera galing sa government funds ay ino-audit ng COA to situate that those allocated funds for or intended for programs or projects are used to such purposes. So walang malversation, walang switching of funds unless authorized by law. So COA is composed of 3 membership, gaya ng CSC, 1 chairman and 2 commissioners. By the way, class, I forgot to mention the qualifications for the COMELEC commissioners and chairman. Of course, they must be a lawyer, preferably a lawyer, and must have been maybe you could look back at the qualification. Basta alam ko lawyer. Then dito naman sa COA must be an accountant and had an accounting experience of not less than 10 years. For other powers and functions of the COA, I hope that you could go back to your lecture. Then na-mention ko na yung Sandigan Bayan. Then of course the Ombudsman, a special court. Then we have the office of the Solicitor General. The Solicitor General is the official lawyer of the government. And under the office of the Solicitor General, we have the so-called PAO or your public attorney's office where people could ask for a free legal assistance. That is PAO. Then we also have the Human Rights Commission, that special commission created by our law, by our constitution, is intended for protecting the human rights. So whenever there are some violations of human rights, these commissions would have to stand in favor of those victim of human rights violations. Is there any question regarding the constitutional commissions and other special body that had been mentioned? May tanong? All right. The last topic we have Article 10, the local government units. So Article 10 is local government units, and the local government code, the local government code or RA 7160 has granted local autonomy to these local government units. The local government units is composed of, we have provinces, cities, municipalities, barangays, and autonomous regions. So, yan yung tinatawag na LGUs or political subdivisions. Again, LGUs or political subdivisions are provinces or province, city, municipality, barangay, and autonomous region. So under RA 7160, these local government units were granted local autonomy. Local autonomy means self-governing, which means that the local autonomy or the local government units were granted the freedom to rule their respective local government units. And under the Mandanas ruling, the new one, the Mandanas ruling, these local government units were granted further or were granted more power or authorized to use funds or to use their funds and at their own discretion. So, yun yung Mandanas ruling. So, the local government units is headed by their chief executive. For the barangay halimbawa, we have the ang tawag sa kanila, barangay captain or anong tawag sa barangay captain nyo? Barangay chairman, ayun. Then we have the municipal mayor, city mayor, governor for province, and for autonomous region also is a governor. So yun yung chief executive ng mga local government units. And they are voted, they are elected by the people. Since these chief executive are elected by the people, they are therefore accountable to their constituents. So may pananagutan sila sa kanilang mga constituents. And the local government executives also they have different officials, either those who are appointed coming from the national government, like for example, a budget officer, those coming from the treasury department or the treasurer, the municipal treasurer, provincial treasurer, a provincial budget officer or municipal budget officer, and they are under the national government employment. But there are also those who are appointed by the mayor. And there are also those ano yung mga casual employees and ano pa yung job order employees within the local government units, and they are being hired by the LGUs depending upon on the needs and depending upon on the availability of budget. So far class, for some detailed information, you refer to your lecture that's been given to you. Now, is there any question? You will, I'll be giving you your second, your third quiz or your first final quiz next meeting, Tuesday, through a Google form, then finals Friday. Any question?
Ma'am, excuse po.
Yes.
I don't think na-send na po yung lecture po for lesson 3.
Nasa GC nyo. Yung government. Halatang-halata kayo.
Ma'am, may PDF po ba nung lecture about sa government?
Let's see, hanapin ko yung module if I still have copy of that and I'll post it in your